Military action will always prove controversial, and past conflicts show that even when there are legal grounds for intervention, not everyone will agree. The clearest legal justification for military action is under the banner of a specific United Nations resolution. That was the grounds for NATO's intervention in Libya in 2011. UN Resolution 1973 authorised all necessary measures to protect civilians under threat from attack from Colonel Gaddafi's forces. But some argue, most notably Russia, which abstained in that vote, that what followed went far beyond those terms. NATO carried out a bombing campaign that lasted more than 200 days and only ended with the death of Colonel Gaddafi. One reason why Russia is now more reluctant to allow the UN to authorise any military action against Syria. So what are the precedents for military action without a UN resolution? In 1999, the United States, backed by other Western nations, including Britain, carried out an aerial bombing campaign to protect the civilian population in Kosovo from President Milosevic's forces. This time, there was no specific UN authorization, but military action was carried out under the NATO alliance umbrella, helping politicians like Tony Blair at the time to argue that even if there was no specific legal authorization for military action, it was still legitimate.
We have all watched, everyone, right round the world, these people driven at the point of a gun from their homes, the men murdered, the women raped, families dispossessed of everything they have, and I believe we are fighting for the values of civilization here.
Of course, similar arguments were used when America and Britain led the invasion of Saddam Hussein's Iraq, and it's this war that's cast the longest shadow. In 2003, there was no UN Security Council resolution, and NATO was divided. The intelligence used to justify the war also turned out to be wrong. But making the case for British military action in Westminster, David Cameron told MPs not to draw comparisons.
This is not like Iraq. What we are seeing in Syria is fundamentally different. We are not invading a country. We're not searching for chemical or biological weapons. The case for ultimately, and I say ultimately because there'd have to be another vote in this House, the case for ultimately supporting action is not based on a specific piece or pieces of intelligence. The fact the Syrian government has and has used chemical weapons is beyond doubt.
But for some, talk of military action against Syria will still bring back the memories of Iraq. With no UN mandate likely, no direct involvement by NATO, and still questions about the intelligence and no clear military goals, there are fears the same mistakes could be played out again.